All right, so up next is the Surface tab. So we're going to look at Surface. Here under Surface you have Strip Assign. So this is where you pull faders down and put onto your actual, or pull channels down and put onto your actual faders. The way this works is you have input, effects, mix, monitors, DCAs, and MIDI as well. So if I go to, say, bank 2, my middle section of faders here, let's say I come down here to layer C. So bank 2, layer C, I can grab any fader that I'd like and bring down here. I can bring down a mix, like a stage monitor. I could bring down a DCA, bring my drums down here. I can also select things by pressing block select, so I can select a range of items. And I can bring those down as well. So let's say I wanted to come over here, select these 3 at a time. I can bring them down all at the same time. So as you can see, all those things get built here on the Surface. Next thing over is soft keys. So again, there are 26 soft keys on the Surface, and from here I can assign what I want each soft key to be. So for instance, I can come to soft key number 7, assign it to be a mute, a solo clear, a tap tempo, a DCA spill, active or not. Lots and lots of options in here. I really like the flexibility. So depending on what I select, I get some different options here. Again, you notice there's an apply button. You'll wind up putting some console tape or something down the side of this so that you can write what each of the functions are. With 26 different buttons, it's kind of hard to remember what everything is going to be. Next tab over will let me assign what my 4 custom rotary encoder functions are. This is nice because I can assign individual, say, effect sends to be on these channels. So right now I can say, much like the soft keys over here, I can have a big variety of things to pick from. So I'm going to, in this case, say send level, and then I say which send level I want it to be. Mono, stereo, mono effect send, stereo effect send, and then I can scroll over to which effect unit I want to send to. So once I dial that in, this soft key number 1 is always my vocal verb send. And of course it shows on the strip here, it does show what the send level itself is. Next up, I've got a dimmer control. On the dimmer, I have lots of options here. So touchscreen lets me control the brightness there. The LED strip is up here underneath this top edge. So that's kind of nice. I do like that. I do have a little bit of a color balance, so I can go kind of this purple color. I'm told that this is UV light, so that it doesn't show up on video cameras. I'm not sure that I'm buying that, but I can go from white to this pure UV and anywhere in between. The LEDs are the brightness of the LED inside the encoders. Switch backlights, I do like this, so you can't see it, but you can have all of the buttons on the Surface lit even if they're not selected. They're just a much dimmer color. And then strip LCDs themselves, so the scribble strips here, I get to adjust the brightness of those. Last thing under the control tab is DCA spills. So I do like the way this works. So we're seeing this on a lot of different consoles from manufacturers, where if I select in some way a DCA or a VCA, depending on whose console it is, it will show me all the contributing faders that go into that VCA. So what I like about that is I can assign that to a soft key so that that feature gets turned on and off. So the reason to turn that feature off is so that I can assign additional faders to that VCA. And if I want it turned on, then every time I select a mix, then it shows me all the faders that contribute to that DCA. DCA and VCA in this case are interchangeable. I do like that I can change how it lays out those contributing faders. So I can tell it which fader banks, 1, 2, or 3, to use. And I can have it manually lay out across those or just fill up a single bay. You can also go into the audio tab. This is where I would configure my solo buses. A nice feature that we have is I can delay the solo bus. So if I've got quite a bit of delay on my house speakers, I can delay my solo bus to match that up. And if you've got a very big auditorium, you've probably experienced that where you put the headphones on and it's a little bit out of time with what you hear outside the headphones. So that's an option there. I can use, well, there's a lot of different options for the solo bus here. There is only, as best I can tell, a single solo bus, but that is configurable, so I can modify that and have as many solo buses as I'd like, but I'm not sure how you get to a solo for the other buses, so I would have to dig into that some more. Another tab is the USB audio. So again, up here in the top corner, I've got a record playback. So if I put WAV files on a thumb drive, I can stick it in there, and then this is where I would see what's on the thumb drive, and I can select a song and play it, and I can assign where it plays out to. The I/O port, there are 2 card slots on the back of the control surface itself. In port number 4, they're labeled 4 and 5. In port number 4, I have a Dante card. There are no configurable options for that, but if there were, they would show up here. Port 5, there's nothing in it. Under audio sync, again, I get to select what sample rate everything is working at on the Surface. 96K is the default, so the whole console and mix rack automatically work at 96K. And then metering ballistics, this is kind of nice as well because this allows me to just kind of tailor what these meters look like on the console surface.